Hello YouTube, this is Weston's Toys and Collectibles. I got a bit of a cold right now, so don't mind my voice, but just picked up Siege, War for Cybertron Trilogy Autobot sixgun, the deluxe from the second wave of the Transformer Siege line. Same artwork as all of the rest. On the other side we got a nice picture of sixgun here. Got Hound in the back there, you got Ironhide down here, and him just like firing off his shoulder rockets and looking ready for battle, or like he's been in battle for a while. So on the back we got some obligatory product shots of his robot mode, vehicle mode, weapons, and then of course him used as armor by Ironhide. So that's about it for the packaging. Move on. Got his instructions here. The different kind of weapons that he breaks down into. So like anti-gravity cannons, I guess, is what his legs will turn into. Missile launcher is his midsection, lower torso. Dual flank boost launcher, that's his upper torso, head area. MTX LR, ion pulse blasters, that's his arms, and then like these little W5 gyro blasters, it says. Those are just the little tiny missile guns or whatever. See, it breaks down into all those, how he comes apart from robot mode to weapons. There's how he could be used with other robots. It shows Sideswipe here. And of course, transformation to vehicle mode. Without any further ado, here is his vehicle mode. This is the Deluxe Siege sixgun. Some kind of vertical takeoff and landing vehicle. These can rotate. They're just kind of pegged in, so that's why they can rotate. But yeah, if you want, you can rotate those for him to fly around or whatever. He's got some boosters back here, some boosters here. I guess these would be like, maybe like, I don't know, main engines, the thrust engines. Well, these could be like steering engines or whatever. Or like if this could come off as like a drone, this be set down as a weapon emplacement. It's all up to the imagination, really. Doesn't do a whole lot here. He does have pegs all over. He's got some holes all on here too. Weapon attachment ports. Let's see. Mostly red and white. Some gray details. All the plastic has really nice molded details in it. Be nice if some of it was picked out in like silver paint, but it's not. So here's like this little canopy here that's picked out in silver, and then also these little stripes here back on the feet are kind of picked out in silver. So those almost seem like they could be like some sort of view screens or whatever, as if somebody could be inside there as like co-pilots or whatever. So basically, to transform him, you gotta tear him apart. So I think if we're gonna do that, might as well show off his features. So we'll just take him apart into his separate weapon modes. So you take that whole top section off, take this down like that, and then pull the legs off. And then this has a peg here. It comes out. And that's a missile launcher of some sort. These have pegs on the back here. Fold out like that. You can either leave that down like that, or fold it up like that. I usually just kind of either fold it up like that or just leave it like that. Same with this side. So those are basically the same weapon. These are separate weapons. Take both of those off. And then both of these are separate weapons. And then this is its own weapon as well. So that's him split up into all the weapons. And basically, as per the instructions, you can just kind of arm up other robots. So I'm going to show him armed up with Ironhide. So here's Siege Ironhide. And I'm going to take his rocket launcher thing away right quick. Now, one of the ways to combine this onto him, you take this and you take the two legs and put the legs in like here, just like so. And then you will put these in the tips of those right there. That will then attach to his back. And this does not attach very well to Ironhide's back, so just kind of, it's very, very shallow peg. We can try it on, let's try it on this guy right here, Flywheels. That's a very shallow hole too, so, but it's a bit tighter it seems. And then kind of just fold that up a little bit like that. And then next we'll take these pieces here, the remaining 3 components. We'll just kind of flip these hips out like that, and then peg these arms on right here and right here. And I guess that just kind of plugs in kind of right there and makes the robot very, like, extremely back heavy. Like, old boy does not want to stand up. There he is. So yeah, that looks absolutely ridiculous. And then trying to put it on Ironhide, just with like the angle of this, does not work at all. I mean, it just falls right off. So it doesn't really work with Ironhide. His main issue is these wheels here that get in the way. So pull him out of the way, pull Ironhide out of the way. We're going to look at another configuration. So that was defensive loadout, it says. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze. So that was defensive loadout. We'll look at the offensive loadout next, which requires taking this apart again. And I'll just fold these up like that. And then these will plug onto Ironhide's feet. So those plug onto his feet. This will plug onto his shoulder, like so. And then you'll unplug these from here. Actually, could have just left them on, I think, but then they'll plug on right here again. So I don't know if they were plugged on the same way, but just kind of angle those back like so. And then that can then plug into his back, and that fits in a lot better on his back than this piece does. And then finally, these just kind of plug into the tips of the wings here, like so. And that's the offensive loadout. So that's that one. Now this last one I know does not really work for Ironhide, and it only requires 2 parts. So you just need this chunk. Let me move his arms and legs over here, and this chunk. You don't need these guns anymore. And basically this doesn't work with Ironhide, so I'm gonna bring in flywheels or skytread, whatever they're calling him now. Bring him in for this one. So basically it takes this one, and you're just gonna fold these in like so, and fold this down like so. Take this, flip that down like so, and then flip these out. Then this peg will plug in to this hole here, and it's like some kind of gauntlet. And I'll see if it'll fit on him with his hand flipped out. Yep. Alright. So that fits on him like so. His shoulder can't really support it. It does weigh, almost as much as he does. There he goes. You can kind of support it there in his shoulder a little bit. Basically, it just gives a big old fist to whoever's using it. You just clobber the heck out of whoever they're fighting. I mean, it will work a little bit with Ironhide, but you kind of have to you have to fiddle with it a bit. Basically, you gotta plug it into his arm, and this won't fold all the way around his fist here. So it's gonna be off at like a little bit of an angle, but I mean, it will work. It just looks a bit. It's just at a little bit of an angle. But I do think Ironhide would look pretty cool with 2 of those. Then you can just plug these into here actually on Ironhide, and just plug things into his shoulders as well. On both sides, plug these into his feet. And then just trying to find a place for these pea shooters. Just put them on here on his shoulders. And I think that looks pretty cool. Just Ironhide all armed up like that, getting ready to clobber someone. Getting ready to bust some Deceptichops. And then, of course, you can just take this hammer and go freaking, use it as a hammer. Just kind of plug it in his other hand. So he's got big old fist on one side, hammer on the other. He's got guns coming out of his feet. Just absolute craziness right here. I can imagine Ironhide doing this. I really could. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and revert him back to his weapon form attached or detached from Ironhide. So here he is once again detached and in his separate forms, separate weapons. Basically, you just start putting them together, and it's all parts forming on this figure, honestly. So basically you want to take this, just kind of spin the waist so this is pointing forward, not this side, and then flip these back like so. Then take these and make sure that the peg is pointing outward, and just kind of plug those on like so. Take this one, and it plugs into the top here. And then these little tabs will go into these slots here, you see. Just like so. fold down these, and you can flip down the front, flip down the back, flips all the way down, and then you can bring these up like here. You can rotate his head if you want at this point. Then plug these into the cannons back there. And then just take his arms, and if you want, you can remove these now and just kind of put them in his hands. And plug those on just like so. And there is Siege 6 gun in his robot mode. And I do think he looks really good. Let's kind of focus on him here. Here he is compared with Siege Ironhide. Now, according to the Sunbow chart, they should be about the same height, but as you can see, he's a bit shorter. Here he is compared with Siege Flywheels. He's a little bit taller than Flywheels. They're actually about the same height. Yeah, he's just a hair taller than Flywheels. So that's him compared to Flywheels and Ironhide. If you want a leader class comparison, then here he is compared to Shockwave, who's more of a Voyager size. And if you want a better leader class comparison from an older line, here's Hot Rod, or Rodimus from Power of the Primes with Siege Fire Drive. As for articulation, he has swivel in his head, goes all the way around, no up or down, rotation in his arms, and due to the fact that it's a hexagon shaped port here rather than just a round port, it does feel like it's faux ratcheted. He does have a little hinge here, rotation at the bicep, nothing at the wrist. At the waist, he does have this movement. He does have like a reverse ab, or like he bends backwards here. It's like not an ab crunch, but like a reverse to that. Full splits and full Monty. Rotation here at this connection. Knee to 90 degrees. Toe tilt forward. And down due to his transformation. And then ankle rocker goes all the way in. So you can get him in a variety of really good poses. And actually earlier I decided to do like a pose like this. And he's just kind of standing. He's kind of got a peg leg, and then using this gun, using it in this hand so he doesn't fall off balance. So I was just kind of messing with him and got him into like this pose. I just thought that was kind of funny. Needs a little more firepower. He'll just rip his leg off, replace it with one of his guns, and go to town. I was also messing with him earlier. And these are very versatile, these weaponizer figures. I took these, I plugged them into the hands like so, into the back of the hand, and then plugged them on his legs. And if you want, you can kind of do that. It has a little bit more support there on the on the inside. These can kind of go up here like this. And then I plugged these on his arms. Just like so. Like that. And then you can just kind of take these perfect effect hands, the combiner hands, and plug them in like that. That one's kind of loose, but just use that as like a bit of a different look for six gun. A little bit chunkier in the top and then lighter in the lower body. I don't know what you'd call this version, but I just thought it was kind of funny to do. But as you can see, not staying together too well. He was balancing pretty well, but not staying together, with this one hand being a bit loose. Yeah, just I thought that looked pretty funny. It's kind of cool though, but anyway, getting back to his robot mode, and close out this video. So I do really like Six Gun. I do think he's a bit more worth the price than some other figures from the line so far. I've messed around with a sideswipe. I haven't done a review on that sideswipe because well, it belongs to my cousin. He kind of sort of damaged the foot, so I wouldn't be reviewing a pristine figure. As it is though, Six Gun's really nice. And I did like that sideswipe figure. I just haven't bought it for myself. I think I prefer the Masterpiece version. It just has more presence on my shelf. But yeah, definitely, I do think this is a good figure in this line. I recommend picking him up if you think he's cool. If you have Metroplex, he'll definitely go along with Metroplex. I've seen combinations of him and Cog, and I might show some of those off if I do get Cog in the future, but as it is, I'm not really completely interested in getting Cog. I just kind of been putting these weaponizers on the back burner, but I decided to pick him up because I thought he looked cool. He looked like he'd go really well with Ironhide. So I'm not sure if I'm going to have them separate or if I'm going to combine them and put them on the shelf, but either way, I do like this guy. Really nice. So thanks for tuning in. This has been my review of Transformers War for Cybertron Siege Six Gun. So until next time, till all are one.